Hello, and welcome to Indiepocalypse Radio, your number one source for Indiepocalypse Radio related business, which is to say, this show itself. I am Andrew, the aforementioned host of this show, which is somewhere between a talk show and kind of like a event post-con kind of chat sort of thing. We're here with a duo of guests from the wider world of Indiepocalypse, from recent and I say not so recent, but it's probably like almost a year ago at this point.
Yes.
Yeah. So our first guest is that person from about a year ago, with love. Was it live or live? Now
Live.
live, love, light. Well, yeah, of course it is. Like the phrase in issue 66. It's Pakanoke. Hello, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing quite fine. It's a good Saturday.
Yeah.
World Cup is on. Watching some Formula One. I'm having a good day.
Yeah, I get like splashes of it around because so much of it is in the U.S. for
Yeah.
like the first. When is it ever in the U.S.? It's been a weird thing that it's only not only like in the U.S. but like the U.S. is like winning sometimes.
Yeah, they're actually doing quite well. It's like, I don't know.
I mean, you like cars, right?
What was that?
What?
You like cars, right? In America. So
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
It's been a rare like it always seemed like, oh, that's the thing that we're bad at.
Yeah,
globally.
I see.
But we're not here to talk about sports for games that I haven't watched anything of. So I have to first off, the important question I need to ask, the kind of my standard bit of housekeeping up top, which is, how did you find your way to Indiepocalypse?
I think I would know of the site like itch.io, and I would sometimes just browse games, play random things, and then I think I just saw it in like the homepage, because sometimes your Indiepocalypse things are like on there.
Yes.
So I clicked it and I saw it, and then I guess it was in the back of my mind, and then later on, when I made something myself, I was like, I think this fits the vibe.
Yeah, that is. I mean, and a lot of it does. I will say it does fit the vibe. And speaking, if people don't know what that vibe is, if people have not played a Live, Love, Light, how would you describe it to them?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's just something weird, I guess.
Right.
It doesn't really have like a goal or something. It's just a mob simulator.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, the difficulty of the solo hobbyist indie dev is does not often have to explain. you don't have your seasoned pitch ready because you're not at like a show explaining something 10,000 times to somebody.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing this for fun, not for money, basically.
Right. I mean, if you were doing it for money, why would you ever join Indiepocalypse? That's...
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's still cool that I can say, oh, I made some euros or some money with a game I made.
Yeah, that's the hope of like small scale, I don't know, publishing stuff, where it's also, you don't have to, it's not a lot of sellout, but it's also not like a ton of buy-in from like developers. It's not like, hey, make a game that's 80% done, and then pitch it to people, and then maybe they'll give you money, and then maybe you'll get some of that.
Yeah. Your thing is a lot more low pressure, I would say. Just having fun.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Well, it's not like a game jam, right? It's just...
No, it's like, right, for a thing that you just happen to make at some point, in life. And you're like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
I need to do something with that thing I made at some point in life.
And it's cool to show it to more than only your friends, I guess.
Yes.
It's also cool.
That's like a weird part of the project that I try to part of maintaining a certain degree of like, not anonymity, but I don't know, mystery. Not inserting myself everywhere, where it's like, it makes me like a stranger, you know. And I think it's fun when a stranger likes your things, as opposed to like, if I was everyone's friend, and then they're like, oh, well, of course he's my friend. Of course he let me in.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
thing.
That's true. It is a confidence booster.
Which is, you know, because it's really like, I don't know. I always forget what bans people who spam things. There's like, you can report people for like spam and all this stuff, but it doesn't actually ban them it doesn't actually delete their messages or anything.
I see.
But that's said so. Yeah, because it's like, I don't know what you've got regionally, but there are, like, unless you are like inserting yourself into other like arts events, there aren't that many sort of like, you know, indie game event kind of places.
No, I feel like I must admit I haven't done too much research into it.
Right.
But I feel like the indie scene is kinda dead where I'm at.
Right.
But maybe there are things, but it's like it's not well known.
Right, and it's like you have to sometimes like sometimes finding the thing to help you is sometimes harder than you know.
Yeah.
You somehow you're just as small as the thing you're looking to find yourself in, and it's tricky because it's not like I mean, usually I would say local game dev groups are not like posting like those. What do you call those postings where you take the little tabs off? You know.
The little tab?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it now? I'm wondering how regional this is. You know, it's like someone put a flyer. They'll say like, "Hey, join our game dev group," and it'll be like a regular sheet of paper, but on the bottom, it's a bunch of like they cut into little tags, basically.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
But
No, I feel like it's also very niche. I feel like still game
Yeah.
dev, maybe.
I think like, yeah, and I think it's still like there's a sense of like intimidation that comes with it, you know.
It is scary, to be honest. The amount you have to like know,
Yeah.
especially for like 3D games and stuff.
Right, and sometimes people like there are like, you know, smaller, more like ready to make engines kind of things, but you know, the average person on the street doesn't know what like Bitsy is, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
or like Decker, or I mean, they might know what RPG Maker is, but they don't want to necessarily make an RPG.
Exactly. I've also I think I listened to one of your shows recently, and before that I had no idea what Decker was.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, this my lot in life is to just say a bunch of names of things and people at people so that they learn about them.
And it is cool. It is cool.
You know, it's whenever someone's like, "Oh, hey, how can I help? What can I do?" Like on the rare occasion, someone's like, "What can I do to help to market it, to do this?" I'm just like, just tell somebody, you know, like
Yeah.
that goes such a long way compared to like, you know, what's it called? Like, you know, like liking something or like, you know, sharing something.
Yeah. It's hard to get visibility nowadays, right? With
Yeah.
the amount of stuff.
You're right. Visibility is kind of like an impossible sort of problem.
Yeah.
It's why I do so many events because
That's cool.
events kind of like, you know, it's hard to be invisible at an event
Yeah.
because you've just got a big
Is
table.
there like, are you from USA?
Yes. From and remain within the USA.
Nice.
But
Is there like a lot of events locally for you then, or do you like travel all over?
both. I mean, I'm lucky where I am. I both like, because I'm sort of like, I'm in Massachusetts, sort of near Boston, so we have both like an indie game festival, and that's where PAX East is, also in Boston.
Yeah.
So I've got, you know, two major, or like a small convention and then a major convention. But then I also like, I go to PAX West. You know, I went to Berlin for a maze.
I see.
I travel around the world where I can. But the U.S. has like a decent amount of stuff, but it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it's a big country.
Yes, no, my flight to Berlin was like not that much longer than my flight to Portland, Oregon,
That's actually crazy. Yeah.
which is like, granted, I was like going east, and I think it's faster going east or something because of winds or whatever.
Okay.
But it still was like, right. I'm just like staying within. I'm staying within the same country versus I'm traveling to an entirely different country, entirely different, continent. Even I'm crossing an entire ocean. Versus
It doesn't matter.
I don't even need I mean, I use a passport because I'm not getting like a fake. I'm not paying extra money for like this whole extra ID thing, but this U.S. is weird.
Yeah, sometimes I hear stories and then it's like I don't understand it, and I don't think I want to.
Yeah, like we've got like a new ID, which is like a real ID, which is somehow different than your old ID, so you need for traveling. But I just have a passport, which is better. The passport's the strongest one, so it just kind of gets me everywhere.
Okay, that's nice.
But yeah, no, it is fun to do like big and small stuff where I can, and it gets you like it makes indie game dev stuff feel a lot less invisible, you know?
Yeah.
Between like you get to meet people, and then also like you just see like it's hard to get people to your itch page, but like it's easier to get people to your table.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I need to go to like a bigger event someday. It sounds really cool to just try a bunch of things and then.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
connect.
I do not know travel time across Europe, but Amaze is relatively close, all things considered, depending on how long it takes you to get to Berlin.
Not that long, probably, if I take like a fast train.
Yeah, and Amaze is a very cool event. Because it's got a lot of cool stuff, and then you can also just like sign up. So you can sign up for like what they have like called open screened, which is like you can sign up for like a 2-hour block where you demo your game. So if you're like, I do want to show stuff at Amaze, but I don't want to be here the entire time or whatever, or feel responsible for my game, or have to worry about getting into like the showcase.
I see. I would probably just like the most to just walk around and play other people's games, to be honest.
That is also like a good reason to go there. It's a very like hobbyist art game event. Like there's usually one or two things there that are things that might make money, or but usually it's just like, well, usually how like art or like horror stuff sometimes horror just the beauty, the eternal thing of art is. Sometimes is it horror just stuff just makes money regardless of budget.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen that. I'm amazed sometimes.
Yeah, it's just like it's consistent across all mediums, across all period of time. Horror can make it quick and dirty and make money with it, and that's how you can you can sneak like themes or whatever into your art, because as long as you make it horror.
Yeah. But then there's also a lot of non-horror stuff, right? And just
tons. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I was saying like the horror stuff is the stuff that like if you're like if anything that Amaze is like a bigger name thing, it's usually horror stuff. That's simply because that's the intersect between the experimental space and people who get money.
Yeah.
But it's
like.
Yeah, but there's also tons of stuff that you can't really like buy. Like there's a lot of like physical like installation, like some more installation-y than others, but like some just like straight up like practical installations almost.
Oh, that's really cool. And extra important with all the PlayStation and Xbox news, which is kind of abhorrent.
Yeah, that's the it's a very weird thing, you know, of like, especially because it feels like other mediums are just like in like the last decade have embraced physical releases more than anything, you know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and then games are just like, I don't know.
Going
It's
in,
weird.
so maybe they're just, you know, a decade behind. So like they're going through their more digital phase, and now they're gonna swing back around where everyone wants physical stuff again. Kind of like, I feel like you know, everyone was, you know, music was all digital. You know, it was all streaming and all.
Mm,
But now, pretty much anyone you can buy something off of, like from Bandcamp or whatever, has like a
yeah.
cassette or a CD or something.
Yeah, I heard that like CDs are also becoming more popular again, which is really cool to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was even the thing where, like, you know, huge. I mean, I think that was partially probably because, you know, indie bands were doing vinyl, and then huge musicians got into vinyl, kind of choked up the factories.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we can still make CDs. And people are just kind of, I mean, you see it with like the PlayStation and Xbox stuff. People are just like tired of like not having stuff anymore.
Yeah, yeah, you can really notice that. But it is stupid, right? It's like, I don't know. I was
It's
also thinking just buy some empty CDs and just put some of my favorite games on there just to have them.
Yeah, right. And it's the weirdest of like we don't need to all have, you know, like the Library of Alexandria in our house, but
No, no.
but it's nice to be able to download something. You just get a file, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, like itch.io, you just get a file, which is nice.
Yes, right. It's not like, sure, like even if it was all, if everything's exclusively digital, the idea that a digital thing cannot be taken away from you at a moment's notice.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And it's already happened with like the movies, right? On was that with PlayStation?
Yes, yes,
Was it-
that was another
Yeah.
wrinkle that I did not know about until I saw they're like, no, even movies you bought, I guess they're taking away.
It's so weird. It's like, yeah, I guess I'll go pirate stuff.
Right.
If that's okay.
Does and the important
Yeah,
question
it's
is like,
all you want.
does it count as piracy if you can't buy it? You know, at what point
Yeah, exactly. It's
can you
very valid in my opinion.
can you steal things that you can't own in the first place? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, we need like robust and also like just like weird like we need better robust like libraries. I'm a big fan of just like libraries because they're like cool places that are free and they just give you stuff.
Oh. Just like, ooh, a library for games would be so cool, actually.
I did check recently because I've stopped by a couple libraries recently to check
Yeah.
like, oh, what do they have for sale, like for, you know, because a lot of times libraries will do book sales, and I was like, let me see if I can get some weird rarities. I could not find any, but then I also checked like, do they have games? They didn't, but
No, unfortunate.
it'd be nice if they did, you know.
It would be, but I guess books are still a bit older than games.
Yeah,
Now that we have libraries for them and stuff.
right.
Maybe one day. Maybe someday.
And there's the trickiness of like, it still remains very weird that you cannot, that we just don't have a cheap box that's an emulator, you know.
What? Sorry? A cheat?
I like some kind of like cheap box, you know, something a video game version akin to a like, you know, like a CD player or something. It's just like,
Yeah.
here's a cheap box. It's got emulators on it, you know, so we don't have to go, oh, I can't wait. I hope they re-release this game. It's like, no, you just buy the freaking ROM or whatever,
Yeah, exactly. I would love that.
and then
It's like-
it just plays it, you know.
I'm also like I'm no economics master, but I'm really wondering if it really takes away like profit, because
Yeah.
people
Oh.
will play the old stuff, people will play the new stuff, right? I
Right.
can't imagine.
Well, yeah, it is assuredly like I've seen people like either watching videos or I think mostly it's a stream thing. People will be playing like actively playing a game, an older game, and they'll be
Yeah.
like, "Man, I hope they remaster this game soon." And I'm like, "My guy, you're playing it right now. The game exists. Like, what,
Yeah, that's true.
why do you need like this weird remastered version of it? Like,
And people are suckers for like nice graphics.
Yeah,
Uh,
they
which in a way I can understand. Although I do like the old aesthetic as well.
right. I
Some
think
people do.
it feels like it's kind of just like we're increasingly reaching the point where it's just like an aesthetic because it hasn't. It's been
Yeah,
so long since it's meaningfully changed it all
that's true. Yeah,
that
it's like when I used to play like let's say Far Cry 4,
yeah.
and nowadays, like I don't mind if games nowadays would release with like Far Cry 4 graphics or like era of games, 2014.
You're right, and see, maybe this is a thing where I probably show my age, where I'm like, that's not even like old.
Okay, I'm a bit younger then,
Yeah,
but I got later into gaming as well.
yeah.
So
Like, see, I look at Far Cry 4, and I'm like that's already probably 10 years into graphics not meaningfully changing.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I
But
I I'm of maybe because I grew up through the NES, but
yeah,
I'm very much of like once we hit like it definitely the PS5 does look better than PS3, but it doesn't look like the gap between those two is not the same gap between the NES and the PlayStation.
yeah, that is true.
Uh, but but also there are so many people like yourself here who work in fantasy consoles of Pico 8
True, true.
to go to just like because that's not even like that's not an engine that even is like faking the aesthetic. That it has a lot of like hard limitations on it.
It's really cool actually. Like in my game, I have to like change the volume of the soundtrack basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, there must be like a simple function or like a thing for this, right? And then I had to change like bits in the memory, and I was like, oh, what's this?
Right. So what drew you initially to Pico 8 as an engine to use?
I think I used to use like Unity,
Yeah.
but I never could finish anything in Unity.
Right.
It's just, yeah, it's like you can do too many things. It's too big.
Right. And Pico 8 says, "Hey, this is your upper limit, buddy. You can't get any bigger than this file size."
Yeah, exactly. And it's just very simple. It's just like all in one. You can just draw in the engine as well. And I don't know. It's easy to get into.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that is
Thing in one place.
right. Just kind of like this sort of piecemeal, but like contained and manageable engine.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's cool that like the bigger engines can do a lot of stuff. And for some games, I'm happy that that those engines are there. But sometimes it's just fun to make something small.
Right. It's like if you want to make music, you don't have to like get an entire orchestra every single time you want to make music.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's cool that you can make music with like 20 instruments, but
I agree. Yes, and if you're into that, let's go. But
it's not the only way to make music.
exactly, yeah.
Yes,
That's
screamed at the billboard of GT. I have a friend who we've not found a good time where I want to have them watch Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, just because I think how they discovered that's 2008 is very funny. um, but I do not want to. The only time I've ever cared about spoilers in a movie.
Oh,
Uh,
wait, what? I'm not entirely following. I'm sorry.
oh no, there was a bit in the chat I was talking. Sorry, I got caught up
Okay,
with a conversation. I should have transitioned that better. Um,
fine.
but that said, speaking of, you'll see in a second why I say speaking of. We are actually at the end of this segment here, so I have a couple of questions for you. Very standard stock Indiepocalypse questions.
Oh.
Hey, which you may have heard if you listened to the show before, which is the first off, what's your favorite type of rock?
I should have prepared for this, but I didn't.
That's fine. Most people do not prepare for it.
Yeah, makes sense. My favorite type of rock. Hmm. I'm not really a rock guy. I do like to look at them, but uh, mhm. Mm, oh, do I need to answer?
You do not. The answer could just be no. You could
Can I
have
just say
none.
yeah? I like rocks. Can I just say that?
Yes, yes. You like you're allowed to like the abstract
Very,
concept of a rock.
very casually, I like rocks. Yes.
Perfect. And second question, hey, now this one, by the canon of the show, is allowed to be answered with no. The first one is also allowed to be. I mean, every question is allowed to be answered with no, but this one is phrased in such a way that no is a grammatically correct response, which is to say, do you have a favorite Toho character?
I haven't played it, so I have to answer no.
Perfect. Takano, thank you for joining me here today.
No problem.
We will be back in about 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Until then, see you on the other side of that 2 minutes 39 seconds. I've been told. Hello, and welcome back to Indiepocalypse Radio. That was Scram with the capital SKA by Jeff Rosenstock. We are here with our next guest of the show, who is from a very recent one, 75. I say very recent, but now it's it's a quarter of a year ago at this point. That was last fiscal quarter.
Don't say that. That's so far away. It feels like.
I know. I'm like 75. I mean, in the grand scheme of 78 issues, it's very close. But in the relative scale of, it's 3 months ago. It's Reese with Scab. Hello, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great.
Perfect. And now, this is a leading question because this is sometimes like a clever detective. I think I might know the answer to this question. But how did you come across Indiepocalypse?
Oh, I came across Indiepocalypse because I met you in person at a maze.
That's what I thought. Okay, yes, because I was recalling I think an email or a message of some sort.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it was my first Amaze, and I was just scrolling around, saw your booth, loved the aesthetic with the little cassette tapes, or faux cassette tapes, I guess.
Yes,
and
cassette cases. Technically, they are the
cassette cases.
Yeah,
with the bespoke artwork and all that shit. Really, really cute, really cool.
I've got more bespoke. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go for it. You got more in the pipeline?
More what?
Like bespoke art, is that what you're going to say?
Oh yeah, infinitely. I was going to say I have a book right next to me that I got from an indie publisher, and I was like, I like this person's art a lot. So I just found their email. Oh, I just opened. They sent me 2 samples in an email, and I just happened to open to one of the sample pages they sent me. Of like,
amazing.
Here's a sample of my artwork, and I'm like, I know. I didn't say I know I have your book. But yeah, no, it's just like, there's an infinite number of just like cool artists in the world,
Yeah,
and
truly,
they will gladly make art for money.
Yeah, it turns out they just want to get paid.
Yeah, and it makes for very cool, and a very like aesthetically like arresting thing, You know, I can say happily because I don't make the thing, so I feels good complimenting it.
No, yeah, the art in your collections is always top notch. I really, really love the variety and the yeah, the sense that there is all this different input from all these different artists. That's really, really nice.
Yeah, like the point of like my instruction to an artist is put the word Indiepocalypse on the cover. End of instructions.
Yeah. No, period.
Because it is like the goal and intent of the whole project is, you know, hey, let's highlight like the wide range of like artistic expression that one can find within games, you know. And you know, that goes from the artist to the games. And speaking of the games, if people are unfamiliar with Scab, how would you describe it to them?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Well, Scab is a first-person exploration horror game set in rural Australia. It's yeah, a game that's telling. It's kind of. I tried to really take a lot of inspiration from David Lynch movies. I call it a Lynchian narrative game when I'm describing it, because I really had to use suspense and like a fractured timeline of storytelling. And elements of horror to explore themes or tensions between the solidarity and the selfishness, or between solidarity and selfishness that exists in relationships between workers, in the ongoing struggle we all face for collective liberation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is a... To not get on this to like put one toe onto the soapbox for a moment, you know, that is a thing that I think people easily miss when they you know, bandy around Lynchian, you know, of like, it just means weird little guys, you know, rather than sort of like you've done the sort of like horror underpinning of the working class and normal people, you know.
Yeah, the horrific, the horror of like everyday banal evil and decisions that people are like decision trees people are kind of forced into, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Like really gamey terms, you know, whereas like
aren't all of our
overall it requires sacrifices, you know?
Yeah, aren't all of our things that we do in life nothing but decision trees, you know? All leading to an eventual bad end.
Yeah, and I think it's yeah. I mean, I'm not a pessimist. On the other hand, it's just I really wanted to like portray a situation of if one is willing to sell out their like, you know, fellow working class people for the sake of a quick buck or the sake of, you know, short-term personal gain, what are you not willing to sell out, and what will you become? What becomes of your life? What becomes of like the world around us, you know? And these are sort of questions I had in mind in making this game.
Yeah, because, you know, the games, it was fun twice in a row of like thematic descriptions of games where I think we are getting closer to better, like that becoming a better shorthand of like what games are, you know. I think we've been trapped for a long time in, you know, what you do versus what it is, you know, or like what you do is a small part. So you go, hey, horror game, yes, but about this, you know.
Yeah, no, I liked what you said earlier about like, I mean, this game hasn't made any money, but that's okay. I wasn't trying to make.
No, I mean that money. Is you're talking. You're talking to the king of making no money.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fair. No, but my point is, I liked what you said about like, yes, horror games are a really interesting way of, and horror in general is a really interesting way of, like you said, low budget, effective storytelling that also manages to sneak, really, really interesting themes into its subtext.
Right. You can make a game about like loss and motherhood if you put a scary guy in a top hat in it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you actually just described Bloodborne.
I suppose that is also true. That was
you actually literally just described Bloodborne.
I was thinking of Babadook. But I guess that we have multiple scary guys. We have a lot of scary guys in top hats.
We do, and a lot of stories of loss and motherhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Too many scary guys in top hats. We gotta get them. We gotta curb those guys. What are they doing?
Top hats are kind of scary. Something about it.
Because we're not.
Why is it so tall? What you hiding under there?
We're not wearing those anymore. Why is that person wearing them? We're done with those. Which is
exactly.
Deal? Which is deal?
Yeah. What a weird ass fit. Like.
Yes, exactly. Why does this guy have a cape? You know?
Yeah, kind of menacing.
Like, you know, listen, we can have all sorts of style can have all sorts of like wide ranging like expression, you know. We can't lock ourselves into our monoculture of a singular outfit, but if you're a trailblazer, you got to recognize, hey, why are you wearing a top hat? People are going to think, why is this fellow wearing a top hat?
It's going to think you're a bad person. Yeah, but no, it's true. It's true. And I mean, like, it's interesting what we project on stuff as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
what do we find scary and what do we assume is scary because it looks scary under a certain, like, lens and context. That's also, actually, something that I really was looking at exploring in this game with
Right.
the way the monster works.
Right, because I'll be honest with you. One of my hardest slam to never gonna include this is a thing where you collect things while a scary guy chases you. Among one of my least favorite video game genres. Largely because in most cases it is too gamey, you know. Where it's like, oh no, I'm just getting caught frequently, so I'm not really experiencing a story. Whereas to not give away, you know, the entirety of the game, you can in fact have a scary guy chasing you, but it not catch you all the time, but also having an endless looming fear of a thing catching you, you know.
Yeah, it's that was exactly what I was kind of going for. You know, that feature you're alluding to, again, to not spoil.
Yeah.
Was kind of a great example of like a bug that becomes a feature.
Right.
It was not on purpose. I was trying to. It was the first game I ever made. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I mentioned that. It was the first game I ever made, first Unity project ever. Like, which I'm really proud of. How it turned out. And I was messing about with trying to do something else with the way that its logic worked, and ended up with this weird bug where this thing that you're alluding to happened, and then I was like, oh, actually, that works better. That gives the player a little bit more breathing room to listen to these like audio narratives, because like you said, I didn't want it to be a I'm not calling out Slender for this, but Slender was a big inspiration on this game in terms of the core loop, and then I wanted to disrupt it.
Right, and it's more like the Slender also ran since then that have like done it way worse, you know. Where it's like they want to have a narrative, but you can barely ever experience the narrative because you get caught at 3 of 7 every single time, and it's like just becomes exhausting, and it becomes like a thing which takes you out of the space. When you can when there's stuff to be learned from like horror film, you know, where, you know, it's not like they're good. People get caught when they get caught, and like they're never gonna get caught at a different point in the movie, you know, if they don't run fast enough.
Yeah,
but you can still like fraction out that tension.
Yeah,
with like
totally
with the threat of being caught.
Yeah, totally, and that was the intention, and to create this really ludonarrative experience of like trying to have you really sync up with the player character on that, and be like you feel haunted, by something. And then why do you feel so haunted by it? Specifically haunted in the way of like a haunting often, if you look at it in like what a ghost or whatever is, not that that's necessarily what the creature is, but still,
Right.
like it doesn't often doesn't actually lead to like your death or your like physical harm. It's just terrifying, and it's why is it haunting you? What
Yes.
have you done to it, and what is it representing? And that's kind of that's what I wanted to leave the player wondering as they explore the story, and then hopefully understanding by the end.
Right. I think that is not like in hauntings are often not active like predatory threats. In narratives, and like our natural video game language to like people's like natural video game language to present obstacles, so I think people's instinct is to, well, if you have to very easily get caught, ergo there's the obstacle in the video game, when you truly, I mean, to go even further, you don't need an obstacle in a video game. But it can be easier, like the obstacle can be more obfuscated, or it can be a fake obstacle even, because it's, I mean, video games are, I don't want to blow anyone's mind, video games are fake.
What?
The stories in video games aren't real. You're not, if you don't, it turns out if you die in the game, you actually don't die in real life.
I don't know, that sounds like fake news to me.
Turns out you're like totally fine and healthy.
Yeah.
Wait till,
I've never died in a video game because I'm actually that pro, but
right.
but it's only because I've had the terrible fear that it will in fact kill me in real life.
Yeah, you've watched Gerard Butler's Gamer too many times and learned this is what real life is like.
Exactly.
Wait till we teach gamers about plays, and that people people go, oh, I know that they're not actually in this place, but I can believe it.
Yeah, I am Trinity in the Matrix, and if this motherfucker gets me, I'm cooked.
Yes.
That's it.
Do you ever play? Anyway, we're getting too down the weeds. Does one ever play as Trinity? I think you do. I think in the Call of Path of Neo, maybe. Who knows? Anyway.
Maybe in the Path of Neo. That was a great game. A slept-on game.
I played a little of it recently. It's interesting. I feel like we are in a golden era of like people going back and discovering old games. In part because,
speaking of like,
oh,
go on.
Oh no, I was only going to say in part because, kind of alluded to in the first thing, because they aren't archived, they're basically quote unquote free. So it's a lot easier to play, to download like a giant ROM pack and be like, here's I got 10,000 video games or whatever.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, it's really nice that this is becoming like, as you were talking on the last segment, something that people realize they need to like store with posterity, and like store for posterity rather.
Yeah.
Like this is culture, and we need to preserve it. We can't leave it all just to corporations to preserve for us, because they will just sell it to us at exorbitant prices, and they're not the ones who fucking make it anyway. So
right, and it's like also, the important part of like preservation is not just like having it in a box forever or whatever. It's also like
experiencing it,
right, and talking about it.
Sharing it.
If a file exists on the Internet Archive but nobody ever talks about it, is it actually preserved?
Yeah. Is it actually uncorrupted? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we it's easy to overlook like cultural preservation, which is talking about things. How many stories did we? We have stories from history that did not exist physically at all. We're like purely oral stories. And that's like, folks, here's your little snap. That's like the original preservation. It's just telling another person about a story.
Yeah, no, for sure, and it's I think the audio, like the spoken voice, is really useful for storytelling, and that's why I also wanted to do voiceover in the game that I made, because I was like, yeah, I was like, I mean, I did all the voiceover myself. I did different voices and stuff. Used my old theater theater skills to good use.
Yes, yes,
Um,
because of course, like Eddie, a lot of times when you have people on the show to go, oh, this was my first game, and I go, and I often ask or often say or often point out that most of the time you didn't just learn what art was and decide to make a video game,
no, yeah, for
like
sure.
like it's an important thing of like coming to games from like different artistic backgrounds, and different mediums.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's a eclectic skill set, I think, and I think the more well-rounded like game designers and game developers are, like regardless of what their specialization areas might be, it's only useful, it's only helpful.
Yeah, because there's infinite like things you can, what you call it, like infinite resources that you can pull from, when you're making a game, not just other video games. And so like in your case, using audio provides a different framework versus if you were like you had to read a note every time, which is like a common
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, and I tried to vary it. Like you've got one of the first clues you can find is like a newspaper snippet, and like yeah, that helps. It creates a little bit of variety, which is good.
Right.
Um,
And that's
yeah,
also
good
when
and
like
interesting.
right, and it's also when like the tension is at its lowest.
Yeah, exactly. I really and like I mean, there's no prescription on what order you find these clues in, right? That's also
Right.
what I wanted to do. Like make the story make sense no matter what. No matter what order you're discovering things. But at the same time, the tactical placement of it right by where you spawn in to the game, it
Right.
sets a really nice moment if you do find that first, and then you look over this plane and the music starts playing. Only once you let the birds kind of fade out, and you kind of feel like you're in this weird, eerie in between space.
Yeah.
Once you've read that headline.
It's an implied first step, not an explicit one. Which, because that's the infinite problem of video games of what order do things go in, what order do you want them to go in, how much can you guide someone versus how much is someone willing to be guided. Because sometimes like if someone's guiding you, like let them guide you down the path. If you're watching a movie, you don't usually like fast forward to random parts constantly. You accept,
Yeah, exactly.
You accept that, like, oh, the filmmaker wanted me to watch this movie from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Much in a way that like game developers also usually author things with like a certain intent.
Yeah, we'd hope so.
Right. Well,
yeah, no, it's such a powerful experiential medium. I always feel like so when it's done with intention, you can have such potent effects on people. I'd hope that people are always making it with some intention.
Yeah. Speaking of, Reese, what's your favorite type of rock? I lost the transition, couldn't find it. Abandoned it. Went straight to the straight to the business.
Straight for the jugular. I hear you. Well, I was primed because I didn't go first, so I had time to think about it. But yeah, my answer is punk rock for sure.
Perfect.
For sure.
We've got basically a double dosing of it today. It's often what I play on the show because I like it, and also because it's short.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a working class girl. What am I going to say? I obviously want that. Yeah.
And do you have a favorite Toho character?
I actually wouldn't say I do. No.
Perfect.
No.
Allowed. Always allowed. And but it's also never too late to get into it. But that said, we are going on to our second break. Reese, thanks for joining me here today. We will be back in about 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Farewell. Anyway, we're back to Indiepocalypse Radio. Hello, that was Taco Cat with I Hate the Weekend. We're back with the whole crew. Hello, entire crew.
Hello.
we are here talking about, video games, life, everything in between. How, hot one, ain't it? As they say, fucking. Which applies to one half of the globe, the other half is cold or something. Well, no, it's more like, was it like? More like was like a third or something. Like there's like the Arctic bands, then there's like the band where it's hot, then the band where it's always hot, and then the band where it's cold. Is that how the Earth is broken up?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I'm in one of the hot bands currently.
Yeah, we're all there at the moment, I think.
Yeah, but it's fine. I'm not hot all the time. I cannot exist with like a fan blowing right on me this entire time because this show is unprofessional, but not that unprofessional. Where
gotta have some standards.
Yes, exactly. I can't have like, you can probably hear ambient like dehumidifier just trying to take some of the humidity off of this. At least get closer to a dry heat, where it's humidity is a killer.
Yeah.
Also humidifies all the stuff and gets stuff all gross,
Yeah, for sure.
Keep things aired out. Oh, I need to air things out, but anyway, I was just thinking of something else I could do, but I forgot to do it. More things that I can. But sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was thinking about this the other day. I wonder if I haven't lived in a humid place since I started like PC gaming. And I was wondering if you live in a really, really humid country or really humid space, if that's dangerous for your PC. Because obviously PCs don't like water.
Yeah.
I guess when they're on, they probably create a hot environment too hot for water to settle. But
yeah. I don't think I've ever had trouble, but I'm also not in the most humid, climate. Let me look at. Seems fine currently.
Yeah.
It's not doing. There's not like dew on the sides.
No, I suppose I'm also talking about really rainforest temperatures, and then I don't know if you're close to a rainforest. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to assume, but
no.
I don't know if you have the best internet connections for high speed gaming.
New England is not much of a rainforest.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, wait a minute. There's the weirdness of how many I keep getting a bunch of Discord notifications endlessly, and it's they're not real ones. It's just servers getting hit by a bunch of spam, and I've never actually had that problem where it's so I wonder what causes people to find and spam Discord servers with check up the hand in front of a phone. It's look all this crypto money I got or whatever.
Yeah, it happens on lots of different things. It happens on Telegram as well, and you'll have someone randomly message you with you can make so much money with this or that, buying gold or crypto or whatever, and why would you think this would work? Random number. What is your return on this? Surely there can't be a high return.
I wonder that yeah, go ahead.
I wonder if they automate it, and you need one person, right? Only one person to make it quick. But
I wonder that with the people who message you on Discord, where they're I'm trying to, because the thing is, it is a human being, so there's a part of me that's always very curious to try to find the human being that's trying to do this,
Yeah.
Just message them back, who hurt you?
Yeah, I mean, not directly, but I will give them the most the best faith that I can to try to find who is the human that wants me to because also
what's going on, baby girl? Are you okay?
Yeah, because also none of the things make sense. So there'll be one where someone's there's the art ones where someone's oh, I want to make art for you. I'm what do you want to make art for me? How did you find me? What kind of art do you want to trying to can I penetrate the script into a human being? You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's never.
That's interesting though. That's actually targeted. Like I'm never getting some stuff that targeted, but I guess you have a
Yeah.
more public
Right.
facing channel to a degree, so that makes sense.
But I also wonder, like, who is the scam for? Like, people like, oh, I just want to play games with you. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who are you? I'm like, the often refrain is like, so you just like message random people, ask them to play games with you? That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
It's
no, very
Guess there's a
interesting.
scam further down the line. I'm not sure.
yeah, like I'm like I get the scam is that I'm supposed to be really lonely, and so I get
Yeah.
lonely. You know, it's the random like people like those like random Discord follows from people who are clearly spam. You know, of
Yeah.
like, check it out, I'm really hot, and I want you to message me, and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
and the answer's like, I mean, that's got to work on people, right?
I guess. Yeah.
Occasionally, I guess, and it's interesting because like it's a bot, like
Yeah,
these days, like every time. Of course, it is. Like they just take some usually like hot femme person's like picture from a dating app or whatever, and then they slap it on a bot, and then that's call it a
yeah,
day.
and they don't even need to anymore. They can just AI them now.
True, they
Oh,
don't
that's
even need to
true.
steal them.
Right, the people
Crazy.
the people who are falling for these things are not. I don't think are paying that much attention to being like, I don't think this is a real person.
Is it like targeted at like really young people maybe who are like 13, 14?
I have no idea. It's all
But I feel like they're also quite media literate, no?
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe it's older people
Yeah,
who
I
are
don't know.
like,
Yeah,
I
that makes more sense to me.
Yeah, that's true. They do fall for
Like
more.
like
Um,
lonely divorced dad arc
Yeah.
stuff, you know? Yeah,
how,
yeah.
how do I tap into the lonely divorced dad market and get them
The lonely divorced dad money.
and get them to fund Indiepocalypse.
Yeah. Pose as a hot girl, and it'll probably work. It'll probably work.
You
They'll
need to tap into the lonely guy market and just get them. I need a bunch of like sugar daddy angel investors, you know.
Commission an 18 plus game maybe? Something like that?
It's so hard to be a kept man nowadays, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So hard. I feel like that it's coming back into style, but I feel like that went out of style with patronage, you know.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
We just need rich people to just. Well, I guess that's like what art has done forever, right? Is having a rich friend who like can like pay for venues and stuff like that.
Yeah, sadly that does seem to be a pattern.
You have like, hey, how do we survive as artists? Well, we have one person who has enough money that can like pay for venue space or buy us instruments or whatever we need, you know, to do our art.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You have one independently wealthy person holding up 10 to 20 artists.
Yes, at any given point. Hey, salute to the salute to the independently wealthy who are hopefully not too shitty, but
Yeah.
just shitty enough to be tolerable, or maybe even nice. They could, you know,
Because it does happen.
yeah, you can
Wasn't
have
that
one.
a thing in the past? Like that really wealthy people who would just like have a bunch of artists? Or
Oh yeah, it
something like
definitely
that,
happened in
would
the
that-
past.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I mean, it's not an art thing, but like Karl Marx was a broke boy, and his best friend, who's also a huge prolific figure in the time, Frederick Engels,
Oh.
was pretty wealthy and supported his life so that he could write.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah,
You need to find you always need to find yourself a rich friend, you know.
yeah. But he was also a good person,
Yes.
thankfully. And yeah, I think that's always the through line. Like, do you find someone who's a good person and good-hearted, and they are willing to support you because they have means?
Right, because
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people will like to tell you about the meritocracy all day, but really, most people are just kind of like, you're born, and do you have money or do you not have money? You know.
Absolutely, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And you don't.
Of course, material privilege is really important in getting things done.
It's kind of like how much of a head start do you have, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get lucky, and stuff can happen. Good stuff can happen for you always, but the less obstacles you have in the way, the more luck can be on your side.
Right. If you can afford to make 3 failed games and then have the fourth one work, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot handier rather than like, I worked a full-time job, a part-time job, and I was also making a video game. This video game needs to be a very successful video game because I don't have the energy to do it again.
Yeah.
It's like, just a room to make mistakes, to just learn.
But I mean, arguably that is what the hobbyist space is for, you know.
That's true. Yes. Yeah,
I would say so. I think that's the beauty of this sort of thing.
That's the health of the hobbyist space, is that but games just don't have. It'd be nice if there was like more ambient money in the hobbyist game space, you know, so that like you got a more comfortable cushion every now and then.
I think if there is at some point more cultural funding going around in more countries and more places, that would be a logical thing to support.
Right. Yeah. Because it's not always that like, hey, you know, it's hard. You know, how many artists do art full time? You know, very small percentage of artists are out here doing their own original art full time.
Yeah.
I find it really crazy that like I follow artists on like social media, and they make the most beautiful art, and it's just not full time for them, and I'm like, incredible how.
Yeah. There's there are so many people like, oh yeah, I just do. You know, I was trying to find a game developer's email, and they were like, you know, they're like, oh, occasionally do games, art, hobby stuff, but you know, work at a cafe, you know. Like, yeah, like that's just my regular job. It's also like, you know, hobbyist, you know, doing things purely for the pure pursuit of profit is like exhausting, you know.
Yeah,
because you can
for sure.
You can make something that you're personally satisfied with, you enjoy a lot, but then also it just doesn't make money, I guess. So now it's bad now or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, I didn't think this thing was bad, but now it's bad because, I don't know, not enough people said it was good. And it has like a warping relationship with your own art in a real terrible way.
Yeah, it's tough, and stuff can be good and it just doesn't find its right audience. Stuff can be good and it's like a bit ahead of its time. I mean, you want to talk about historical artists, like obviously, speaking of, you know, like Dutch artists as well, like you have like Van Gogh obviously is the classic example, right? No one liked his stuff, and then now he's considered one of the greatest artists of all time.
Yeah, so just wait a couple centuries, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's tragic. He died thinking he was a failure, and he just didn't find his people yet, you know.
Yeah. The subjectivity of art is also just like so huge, and like also with the times, it's weird to judge in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and so often we take for granted that. You know, we forget like people like Van Gogh, as it were, you know, impoverished failures, you know, in their time, because we think of them as, you know, tent poles of art.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's also so many undiscovered artists, right? Like people that are just like so talented, and you have never and will never also hear of them. Like all over the world, there's, you know, probably billion artists out there who just like. You know, you won't ever see.
Yeah.
I mean, you see this in so many examples. Like, I don't know if either of you follow this person called Ari at Home. He like mixes. So. He's a musician and like a producer, and he like live mixes beats on the streets of New York. And he has people come up to him and like sing or rap, or do spoken word or like all kinds of stuff. Play their instruments on like. With him as he live mixes their stuff into into a song, and he's walking down the sidewalk and like across zebra crossings and stuff like that while he's doing it, and it's insane how many talented people there are in this city who are like world class. If someone could sign them, they would make so much fucking money, but they probably won't get signed. And it's like, you know, it just shows how much talent there is out there.
Yeah, right. It's just like, you know, you can say, oh well, there's just the refrain of like, you know, it's where the term Indiepocalypse comes from, you know, initially, of people going, oh well, there's just too many people, and it's like, well, that's not a problem, you know, actually, like, that's fine, you know, like
It's a good thing,
right? Like, the problem isn't that there's too many people for everyone to make money. It's the fact that the problem is that we tie artistic success to money.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
The problem is we need to struggle to make money just to live, and therefore we have to either try and make it off the art, or like push the art into spaces where we can still make the money to live and make art.
right. The the idea of an Indiepocalypse is only a problem where you know, we live under commerce, you know, and capitalism.
Yeah, period. It's kind of that simple, like an alternative system where you didn't have to like struggle just to have a roof over your head and food on your table. You know, you could make a lot more art.
Right, and you and you also don't feel as bad when like your art that you spent 3 years on is like just doesn't do as well, or like doesn't
isn't profitable.
Right, and doesn't become your full-time job. Because you're like, oh, if you're covered, if it's not, if your survival isn't dependent on it, then it's not. You're like, oh, that's fine. But when you're like, oh, you know, sometimes like, you know, 3, 4, 5 people worked on this game, it has to be successful, or else 5 people are out of a job, and now need to radically reshape their entire lives. You know.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like it's also like antithetical to the artistic process. I mean, until like a few hundred years ago, we weren't making art in this lens, you know?
Right.
You think that in the caves they were like, oh boy, I hope that my bison painting really takes off this year. It's like, no, you know?
Well, we go next to the bison paintings, and we find the one that has the most hearts underneath it, you know?
Then we
go.
It's like it's an innate human thing. We just want to make shit. We want to make cool shit, and we want maybe some people to like it, but it doesn't need to be everyone. And we have the drive. We got to do it, and we got to have space to do it.
Right, and you go ahead.
It's still positive that so many people just make art, right? Despite working 40 hours and doing stuff, that we still just, for the love of the game, just do it.
Yeah,
really inspiring.
Probably like the greatest percentage of people just make it as hobbyists, you know, just for its own sake, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, it's really inspiring. It's like, and again, that shows like how much of an innate human thing it is to want to make stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
We fill all those hierarchies and needs, or sometimes we even didn't, and then we're just like, oh, what if I still made stuff though? What if I just like messed around and like, you know, how many like ephemeral things do we make? You know, how many people, you know, doodle on the dew of a shower wall? You know, that is for one person, and that is also going to vanish so quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Why do people do graffiti?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
You're right. That one is like, even with tags, is a more like semi-anonymous art form, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
totally.
Sometimes it's not even art, you know. It's not even like art, you know, graffiti art as we think of it as high art. Sometimes it's just someone scribbling something on the bathroom wall, you know.
Yeah, but they want to like mark that they were there.
Right. The leave our tiny trace in the world. To be perceived by another human being.
I think that's nice. Also, just to see as like somebody who didn't make it. I I really don't like it when a city is too clean or
Yes.
a place is like too beautiful. I don't know. I want to see like the ugly stuff, I guess, in a way.
Right. You want
Yeah.
the traces of humanity, you know.
Yeah, that's better said.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. It shows the life in the city.
Berlin's
Yeah.
got a lot of it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
like that was
Berlin's a dirty city.
that was like a thing that caught me off guard going to Berlin for the first time. I was like, wow, you have way more graffiti here than like I am used to, and like not like clean graffiti in like designated spaces, you know,
Nah, the filthy, nasty graffiti.
just like stuff,
Hell yeah.
just like stuff everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's chaotic, but it's yeah, like you said, it's kind of nice as well. And I think at least it's a big spread out city.
Yeah,
And you feel that there's spaciousness to it, so somehow that chaos doesn't become too overwhelming after, especially once you get used to it.
no, it's just like another. It's just like a different flavor of the city, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, also humans we're great at adjusting to things.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
true.
We adapt to that. We go our pattern recognition brain gets scared at first, and then it's like not recognizing this pattern. And then you see it enough times to go pattern recognition. I'm used to this again.
My brain has accommodated itself. Yeah.
Right, our stupid monkey brains are like, yes, I. It was the. It is fun when you like. It's really weird that like humans are like. Our brains still have so many of those instincts, but we're also able to recognize that we have those instincts.
Hmm.
It's weird, yeah.
Like I was thinking about this when I was watching recently-ish last year when I watched The Descent. Like I know there's no weird underground naked people in my basement, you know. Like on a functional level, but like my brain has also like been conditioned for that, like because it's been seeing it for like 2 hours or whatever, so it's in that mode where it's looking for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. Like as someone who made a horror game, and will probably make more, because as I said, I find it a really interesting medium.
Right.
I actually kind of fucking hate horror. Like I get scared so easily, and it sticks with me so much. And I'm really good at writing horror for that reason, because I know what is frightening, because I
Right.
get frightened easily. But yeah, I like watching a horror movie or something, especially my own, or even like a scary episode or something. Like it can really stick with me, and then I'm jumping at
Yeah.
shadows for
Right.
days. It's like,
Because your brain is used to it. It's like it's conditioned to see those shadows in the movies, and then it's like movies, real life. I don't know what the difference between those are. I'm a dumb brain.
mhm. I'm a dumb brain, and a creative great brain, which actually
Right.
sometimes makes it worse.
Right. Because you've got
True.
you've got like the inclination to already be imaginative and like visualize things in the space where they wouldn't be. But now your
Yeah.
brain's like, what if there was scary stuff in that space?
Yeah. I was watching a spooky episode of like a D&D actual play. Like,
Oh, okay.
Shout out Dimension 20. You know?
Okay, so you when you say you're scared easily, you mean very easily.
Well, I mean, listen. It was like a spooky story. Okay? It was a very spooky episode.
Okay.
I didn't usually get spooked that easily.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I was fine, and then like something fell off my wall, and I couldn't see it like from the angle of my bed, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking die tonight. It was,
Right.
Dark room, 2 a.m. Something just randomly made a sound in my room, and like that's
Terrible.
the end. And it was about like the episode was featuring something that could like sneak around through dimensional spaces. So it's really like, well, it's here for me. It knows that I know. I know too much, I guess.
Right. Well, man, wouldn't it be crazy if like one of just like for all of our myths and superstition, wouldn't it be crazy just like one of them was real? Just one.
Yeah. Which one would you want to be real?
I don't know. I think about these kind of like things sometimes of like we were talking last night about like just like you're speaking of like old artists, like we're thinking like what song from this modern era could last like 400 years or whatever, who's the Mozart of the 2000s,
Mm.
and or the answer is like, will any of it, or will it be like the same old people still, will it still just be Mozart or whatever, and all
That's really interesting. Yeah.
and will like no like music last for a couple centuries.
Yeah, is Bad Bunny our Mozart?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. I'd like to think so.
It's it's hard.
I wonder if they...
Yeah.
Nowadays you have so many different music genres, right?
Right.
I don't know if that was the same in the past, or if it was more like more of the same. Like right now you have just so many different stuff as well, which like different people like.
Yeah, the variety now is like, expanded so much of the fracturing of but also expansion of the space. Yeah.
Like is it a thing where simply like, artists back, if you became successful as an artist back then, you just had so much like cultural force behind you. Like, do we just not have that volume of cultural force anymore, that it can...
Yeah, and I mean, also there's less people. Like you had 20 fans, and it's like, well, that's half the fucking world. So
right.
You're a superstar.
I've got. Now when our American kings invite musicians to play in their court, nobody shows up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is good, I think.
Yes.
That's
I think so too.
an evolution on our part.
Yes.
I'd like to think.
We no longer have court. Hey, I'll be a court musician. Can we have court game developers?
Court game dev, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting proposition.
Just like, yes, I do this for the crown. I just make games for the crown.
My country still does have a king, so I might try. I can try.
Yeah, you could give it a go. Why not?
I can give it. Why not? Exactly.
Again, you need a sugar daddy, and to make art, and what better sugar daddy is there than the ultimate sugar daddy,
yes.
The national sugar daddy?
That's so true. Holy.
Yeah, we need to somehow I remember doing an event in Canada, and people were like not knowing, because I was in Toronto, so like, and my accent is not, I don't have like a thick any kind of accent. In Toronto, it doesn't have that strong of an accent either. In a lot of cases, I don't think, outside of maybe a couple words that we have accents, and I also sometimes think about those accents and I try to avoid those words where I would hit my accent. So people were like, "Oh yeah, tell me about all these arts grants." I'm like, "I'm American. I do not have access to Canadian arts grants."
Oh yeah.
Which you guys have arts grants?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
I mean, it's,
yeah.
Yeah. It's the complexity of like, well, I mean, I think at least in Canada, part of their whole deal with their arts grants is like they want, and I think there's probably a lot of art grants money is like they want their country's art to like get attention, and not just all be American art everywhere. And when you're in America, oops,
oopsie,
your art's already everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of runs into that problem there. But I think there are like smaller arts grants sometimes, like usually like city level ones you can get for things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it works the same in Europe. Like you have city level and then state, country level often as well.
Right. I think we might just have fewer country level, maybe especially like for video games.
Yeah, I mean, there's no welfare state, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, we don't need to litigate the United States. It's got its problems. It doesn't have bad enough that we don't have democracy sausage or whatever. God, what a great. I feel like we would genuinely maybe be a better country if we had democracy sausages.
It could work.
Yeah, we do eat a lot of hot dogs, so it's like we're primed for it, you know.
Yeah, why not? Why not get your little sausage when you go in to vote? You know.
Very. Okay, so here's a question to bring it back to the early days of Indiepocalypse, where I talk about food and where I learned about things like democracy sausages. You traveling so far from your home. Is there any particular like food staple that kind of like a thing you didn't think was regional that you miss out on now, Reese?
Yeah, I assumed you're talking to me.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is a few. Speaking of sausages, there's a really specific thing that's called a Bunnings snag. A snag is a sausage, and Bunnings is like a Home Depot, like a warehouse of like what would be the Dutch equivalent? Like a hammer, maybe. Would be the equivalent, yeah. And sorry?
IKEA, maybe? They also sell...
I guess kind of like if like Hammer, kind of like IKEA, but more like Hammer in terms of like it's hardware stuff. Like it's for building your own projects. Also, builders will go there and get like supplies and stuff. It's enormous. Like they're gargantuan. And they have everything in terms of like building and outdoors stuff. Building like indoor building stuff, and then outdoors like patio stuff as well. You know, furniture and what have you. And then every Sunday there is there's a barbecue there, obviously, because we love being a stereotype. And and then you can get a sausage and like in just like white bread with like caramelized onions that are usually a bit burnt, and a sausage that's also usually a bit burnt with some like ketchup and mustard. and it's like the bread is lightly buttered as well. And it hits when you're hungry and you've been in this overstimulating environment for too long.
Yes.
And then you step outside and get your little sausage, your little treat. Yeah, I miss that. It's great.
Yes, the Wikipedia page for it is a beautiful, like exactly as you described. It looks kind of shitty, but like
yeah, it's shitty, but in a good way.
Yes,
in that it hits.
Yes, I am charmed by food that's kind of shitty. Like, I am. Usually when I travel, I like to try like very like run of the mill standard kind of food. Like not like, oh, I'm traveling, I need to go check out this very nice restaurant. You know, it's not like, now what kind of bullshit do you eat? You know.
Yeah.
Like
less and bullshit.
Like, let me go to like the what is it? Is it the Rewa? Is that the German one?
In Germany?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the German ones.
Yeah. It's like, let me just go there and just pick up some shitty food, you know.
Oh, you can find it. The Germans have some wild snacks, some wild things that they willingly eat.
And like, let me just grab some whatever I can, just like whatever pre-made deli stuff they have that I do not have.
Yeah. Let me just grab some like meat soaked in mayonnaise, just in a tube, you know, and just like call it a day.
Yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're talking the good stuff here. We're talking that gas station level food.
Oh yeah, your insides will not be happy.
No, but like in the time, you're like, I just got hot food for like $2. Man, I'm living in paradise.
Living the dream.
Yeah. So here now, thinking of food in Germany, I've got really important food questions, and this might be an increasing question I ask of all my. This might be Andrew's new international survey of guests. As his important international survey, pizza boxes. We know pizza boxes. We all know what pizza is. You know, comes in boxes.
We know and we love him.
I know this answer for Germany because I've experienced it, and it's one of the things that got me to think about it. But Reese, in Australia, you know how when you get a pizza, there's like a little part of the pizza box has a little tab on it, right? It's not just a fully enclosed box. There's part where you can lift up the top of the box from. Where is the tab in Australia on the pizza box?
Wait. At the front.
Okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure. It's been a long time since I had a pizza out of the box in Australia, but I'm pretty sure it's in the front.
Same question, Paganuk. Where do you have your pizza holes to open your lids?
I think just in the. It's not really a thing you think about when you open it, but I think just in the front as well, just at the top.
I would agree. It's not a thing you think about until I went to, like, I think it was Germany, and it was on the sides.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is on the sides, and that's why I hesitated for a second.
Then I was like, wait a minute, excuse you, what are you doing here? And then I went to Quebec, to Montreal, and there was something weird too. I forget what it. You know what it was? It was like a pull tab. It was like, you know when you seal a box, like there's
like an Amazon package?
No, like, you know when a box is. I'm trying to. How do I describe this with words? Like, you know how pizza boxes regularly, there's a hole. You can stick your finger right in the hole. You pull it up. But there's a little tab that closes that hole. So there was a tab you had to pull out, and then you got the hole that you could open up. So it was like a fully sealed box in that way. We didn't need to break tape or anything. I don't know what you call that kind of like fastening structure on a box, but that's what it was.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a self-sealing box. Anyway, pizza boxes. I'd experienced different pizza boxes in my life, and I'm fascinated by them. Part of why I like to travel. I'm going to see the culinary treats of Minneapolis next weekend as I travel.
It's like collecting Pokemon.
Yes. As I travel over to Summer Games Done Quick. And find out what do speedrunners think of weird art indie games.
Oh.
I hope they like them.
Oh god, I thought about if a speedrunner ever got their hands on my game, how unenjoyable that experience would be. Because also the audios do not overlap if you play them, so you will just be like getting my voice in various different, accents and whatever, like overlapped with one another. It will completely break the game, 100%.
You're right, but I think in a lot of them engage with games in a weird, different lens. But I also, in my most generous reading, I think a lot of speedrunners also just like the games normally themselves. I have this is I like this game so much I'm approaching it from this different lens,
I can't imagine not liking a game and then spending hundreds of hours on it, thousands sometimes.
Yeah.
Crazy hours.
Like a lot of times when I got very curious about when I'm curious about a game and I'm like I want to learn about a game, I want to get a crash course, almost like a video essay on a game, I would go to a speed run because in some cases I would get the best explanation of the game,
From a gameplay level, I guess.
Yeah. Yes. Not from I'm not looking for narrative games in this context. But if I'm
no, I'm not.
Yeah. But when I'm curious about the inner workings of a game, I check out a lot of what I think of as book report YouTube videos about video games. To varying
video essays or different.
They're technically video essays, I guess, but I call them because they feel like they're book reports,
Okay, yeah.
I love those types of videos.
They don't go necessarily too in depth, and it doesn't feel like they go too far beyond the surface even. But maybe sometimes you get some good context around something, and also video games are long to play, So
Mm.
sometimes.
Y'all rock with Oh, sorry. Continue.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do y'all rock with like Souls games and Souls like games?
Yes,
Yeah. Do you know Vati Vidya?
that name is familiar. Yes.
Yeah, he makes like he's also Australian actually, and he makes video essays about like the very esoteric and complex stories within From Software games, mostly From Software games, occasionally something else, but mostly From Software games. And he has like series on Sekiro and Bloodborne and the different Souls games, and also Elden Ring. Yeah, it's really interesting. He's got, especially these days, he's got great production value as well. Like the cinematography is insane at this point. It's a whole storytelling platform.
Can you write it in the chat, the name?
Yeah, totally.
I've got it already for you. Because
Okay, great.
I couldn't. I was trying to remember which of. That's the one, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year. Now I'm wondering the eternal passage of time. I say last year, but it could have been 2 years ago. I think it was last year. I played through. I got up to I think Last Raven, playing through everything from Soft had done.
Oh wow, yeah, that's you got far.
And then I was like, I would want to do some other stuff, but like, they're good. I feel like people are also going back and rediscovering those things because those things are good. FromSoft has like always been good. They're a very weird company because they've been doing like the same bullshit for like ever, but now people like it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really example of what you were talking about. Like, you just do shit for long enough, and you have the ability to do it, and at some point, it actually usually works.
Right.
Yeah.
They FromSoft for like 20 years of their existence were like the king out of like the 6 out of 10 game review, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And now they are like the standard bearers.
Yeah.
For like, you know, action RPGs or whatever.
Yeah. For weird little guys that will sell you strange items and go,
Yeah, like there was always like back in what's it called? Kingsfield. No, am I thinking of Kingsfield? Yes, I think I'm thinking of Kingsfield. No. I think it's in the second oh no, why am I blanking the name? The Shadow Tower. I think it's in the second Shadow Tower game. There's a guy. It must be because there's two of my favorite. In the second Shadow Tower, there's basically like a patches guy, you know, who he's like, "Hey, come here." He's on the other side of a bridge, and then when you're walking across the bridge, he makes the bridge fall. He's like, "Jokes."
Oh wow.
He's like, "Jokes on you, bro."
Of course he does. Such pranksters.
One of my favorite video game characters is a guy in the first Shadow Tower. I mean, there's a lot of good guys in their first Shadow Tower. There's a fun little mole who like rolls around everywhere. He's just kind of like a cool guy. But there's like this like gnome or dwarf guy who's like, he's like, "Hey, come here, buddy." And then you go to the door he's at, and then it's locked. He's like, "Get out of here! I never heard of you." So you have to go through.
Oh.
You have to go through like a poison area. And then eventually you get to the other side of the door. He's like, "I'm sorry, it was a joke, man. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it, buddy." And then you just like kill him, and you get a key.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Of course, it's a poison swamp. Of course.
Yes, like it's video games, like, but like those and the games also like aren't really like their reputation as being hard is like funny because they're not that hard, you know, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, once you get it, it all locks into place.
Like most of the difficulty is like it feels like people have gone through hoops to like self-impose difficulty on just to maintain that like reputation of being like, "Oh, you can't summon people, you can't use magic, you can't use swords, you can't."
Yeah.
This is the real version. It's like, no, man, the real version of Dark Souls is I get the fattest armor. in the world. I get the biggest sword, and I just hit a guy really hard with it, and he tries to hit me, and I don't take any damage.
Yeah, the real version of a From Software game is the version that you win,
Yes.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are just desperate for gamer cred, I think.
Yeah.
They just want to be seen as something good at, which is,
Yeah.
I guess, valid. But
If
If you
play the
if
game.
you didn't beat Dark Souls 3 with your head in a vice that slowly crushed your brain,
Yeah.
while you were only doing a punch only build, then you didn't really beat Dark Souls 3.
No, I was
Judo.
in Armored Core. I had an arena build, which is just a big fucking tank with a huge ass gun on it. It basically did not move, and just like it was just a heavily armored thing. I put the biggest guns at it on it. I just shot at stuff, and
Hell yeah.
a lot of times they died before they made it to me. I picked an open arena. I put my back to a wall, and I just shot a big ass gun at things.
Yeah. You know what? That makes a lot of sense.
But then sometimes
Cool, though.
I was like, I want to have a really tiny little robot that can like shoot all over the place, and like go super fast and just like not get hit by anything. And that also works.
Yeah.
Versatility is really cool, right? When games give you so many options to approach their mechanics.
Right. It is.
Nice.
It is kind of that it's how you become one with your avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always thought that was so interesting that they threw the whole model like away in a way, which I love also that they did that. With Sekiro.
Right.
That there is only one way to play Sekiro, and it's truly the get good way. You know, there is no other way to beat it. You have to learn that core mechanic of how to parry well and how to dodge well, and when you need to do those two things, and to be aggressive, essentially. And those three things in combo, once you get that, then you get the game. And before that, you are just suffering.
Yes. But I mean, people like those are. I feel like that entire company is just a proof positive against the idea of you don't need to handhold players through things. People want to learn things, you know.
Yeah.
People want friction is fun.
Yeah, totally.
Like people
Totally. I would play another Sekiro game for sure.
like it is. I think it is more satisfying than like the dopamine drip of just like my numbers go up all the time, you know.
Yeah, number gets big. Yeah.
I think that like, you know, we're the dumb pigeon tapping on the light bulb or whatever. But we don't have to be. What is that? What was that one? That's not Milgram. What was the pigeon tapping the light or whatever? I don't remember.
Yeah, no, me neither. I vaguely know what you're talking about, but yeah, I couldn't tell you.
I think they were trying to use it to like guide bombs or something. It was like some deranged test of like, what if you put pigeons in missiles and they could tap on targets or whatever?
Yeah.
But I don't know. And anyhow, it's getting hot. We're getting close to. I mean, it's been hot. We're getting close to 2 hours. Do either of you have any pressing statements, questions that are non-promotional in nature that we need to get to before we get to the promotional portions of this show?
I don't think
No.
so.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think so. You know, stay safe out there. Join a union.
Yeah.
Make sure you can, you know, get your life sorted and your workers' rights sorted so you can make cool shit.
Yeah. Right.
I agree.
Perfect. So we're gonna go around the horn. Reese, if people want to find your stuff, where do you want to point them towards to find the stuff?
You can follow me, Trinity Tales on Itch. If you want to check out my Itch page, the game Scab is up there. I'm currently working on a couple other projects that I hope will end up there at some point in the near future. And yeah, you can also, I think from there, just find my my link tree, which goes to all my other relevant platforms.
Better than your link to. You got your whole damn website on there.
Yeah, you can also see my website, which is she's alright. She looks pretty. I'm very proud of her.
Yeah, it's got all that stuff in there. You got a curriculum vitae up there. You got everything you need. Truly, an email. Love to see an email on a goddamn website. Nothing drives me more mad than when somebody only has like that contact form.
Yeah, but no one ever checks.
And I'm like, I don't think you checked that. I'm not filling that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
and for me,
yes. I thought I was going to burp for a second. Yeah. Parknock, you're up next. Hello. Where can people find your work?
On my Parknock on it, and that's just it. I hope I make some more stuff, but who knows?
Yeah. Hey, you're under obligation to make more stuff. That's the we don't need to be on this endless hamster wheel of like art creation, forever.
But I hope you make more stuff because you want to.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, that's like.
Thank you.
That is my hope, because I think that's what burns people out of making art, is like needing, like feeling like they need to make it.
Yeah, totally.
And because it's
totally.
like right, and then it's like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to. I get tired.
Not be on the hamster wheel.
Speaking of avoiding the hamster wheel, Indiepocalypse.com, I've avoided for a long time. I don't work on weekends. I give myself time off during the week. I don't work like 2 hours before I go to bed. I give myself a lot of leeway, a lot of free time, so I don't have to work endlessly. So that's how I do this for 78 months straight. That's it. Indiepocalypse.com, the best place to buy Indiepocalypse because you just get it and the money gets to me faster that way. You can also get on itch, which is just like you just search Indiepocalypse, you find Indiepocalypse.com/submit is how you submit games. Indiepocalypse.com/Patreon/newsletter/tape if you want to buy physical versions / some other stuff, I'm sure. /radio if you just got here, or /podcast I think is if you want the archive of this eventually. It's next weekend. As I alluded to, I'm going off to Minneapolis. There'll be no radio show. I'm going off to Minneapolis as I table at the back half of Summer Games Done Quick, and I hope it goes well because there's 2 of those a year, and if those do well, that means I get 2 more shows I can add to my thing. Hopefully. I have a good track record of getting into shows and then people at those shows liking me and wanting me to be at those shows. So it's nice. It was weird when like the PAX East did their like Expo Hall Open announcement, and it was like Nintendo. It was like, check out the exhibitors at a hall. It was like Nintendo, Double Fine, some computing company that I forgot the name of, Indiepocalypse, other stuff. And I was like, that's weird, but it's cool, You just got to get out there.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It is weird to be liked on like both ends of like hyper tiny people and also gigantic organizations. Almost as if there's more space for like weird art games,
What?
Yeah, I mean you gotta slip in there where you can,
Yeah. It's almost as if like, give it time, and that like I don't think any weird art game people are ever going to be making a lot of money ever. But that said, you might make more than $2 or whatever. There's a gigantic space in between 0 and 1 million that is yet to be occupied.
Exactly.
It's like all the other artists. So like we talk about, like, which unfortunately they don't have full-time jobs, but they probably still get like part-time money. It's like, man, money sucks. Or alternatively, we don't need money anymore. That's also a good option. Would settle for that as well. The abolition of money. What if all these automation things were like, we use them in the actual smart utopia way, and not just the way to funnel more money to the people at the top? Anyhow, that's it. Reese, Pakana, thank you for joining me here today.
Thank you for being here. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks for hosting us.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yes.
Glad to host you. Glad to host the show. Thanks to people for listening, whether they're doing it now, in the present, or the past somehow, or the future, whenever they choose to listen to the show. That's it. Goodbye, everyone.